Hi guys. So finally I'm doing the live at my home in Delhi, and today we are planning to discuss about the 6 months experience that I had in US as an IMG. So just shoot up with all the questions. What about USMLE journey and step one research position or observership, anything that comes in your mind, just put them in the comment box and I'll try to answer them. Till then, I'll just start with whatever experience that I had when I started my journey. So I first went to US in December last year. Let me see. There's a video. Okay. Okay. So last year I went in December, and we will soon do a podcast about the visa for the IMG students. You need to have any visa that allows you to enter US, and the easiest way to enter US is by applying for B1 B2 visa, and you can easily say that you are going or planning to shadow a surgeon or an attending, and they easily allow you for that. That's for some other day, but for now, so I'll start. So I came in US in December, and it was harsh cold, and my first preceptorship, which is just like observership, but it's for people who have already done residency. So as you guys know that I have done my residency in radiation oncology. So I joined my preceptorship in Cleveland Clinic in the month of January, and it was for 1 month, and the experience was great, but there were so many challenges, including the heavy snowfall that is usually predicted in the months of January and February, especially in Ohio. And I started with New Jersey, where my friend, one of my close friend, is doing residency in medicine. So I stayed with her for some days, celebrated Christmas and New Year, and then started my journey for my first rotation in Cleveland. And there are so many things that you should know before you step your foot into US. For example, you need to smile. People, you need to smile seeing everyone that comes around you. You are considered really arrogant if you don't smile to people, and people will open gates for you, so you also need to do that. And in Cleveland Clinic, I remember the head of department introduced himself to me, and was very kind, and he was standing while I was sitting and doing some contouring, which is what we do in radiation oncology. And I was just surprised, and I immediately got up expecting him to sit, but he said, no, please sit down. And that was the really strange first experience of me in a hospital in US, because in India you're not supposed to sit in front of your seniors as long as they are standing. It is considered rude in India, but there are certain things in hospitals that you need to know when you start any rotation or any clinical experience for that matter. So when I started, I had no idea of whatsoever how to communicate with the people. So number one cultural shock that you will have, no matter how long have you been speaking in English. Like, most of my videos are in English, and you feel confident कि yeah, we know English and everything, but वहाँ जाके आपका confidence एकदम zero हो जाता है. Yeah, literally, because the kind of English that we speak in India is very different that what people speak there. And I was literally struggling to find words to communicate with people, because when you actually communicate with the other ethnicity people, it is hard to understand their accent. And similarly, your accent is hard to understand for them. That's why like whenever I used to go to the cafeteria to order, I would really feel jittery because every time they asked me to repeat, and I also used to struggle in the initial days to understand what they are trying to say. So it might become frustrated, and you might feel that you don't know anything, and you feel insecure, but hang in there. It is just a language. Don't try to think of it as something that you don't know, because our English and their English is quite different, and it will at least take you a month to get used to communicating with people there, no matter how hard you have practiced here. That was my personal experience. People might be able to adapt easily for the English thing, but yeah, just a heads up for those who are going the first time, this is the first thing that you will notice. The second thing was the obviously the ways, the roads, the metros, which we call them subways or MRT, or the bus routes. So Google Maps is really helpful, and you have to have some kind of app if you plan to take bus, because otherwise it will be really expensive for you. But if you're going to specifically Cleveland, then I should tell you the bus service in Ohio is pretty good, and the bus stands are usually close to the residential area around Cleveland, so you can very well take the bus. And I can't remember the name of the app, but I'll pin down in the comment. But there is an app specific for the bus schedules, which you can know when the next bus will come, and you can even buy tickets. I can't recall, but for New Jersey, there is an app called NJ Transit for those of you who are planning to go to New Jersey or New York. So NJ Transit is a train that goes from New Jersey to New York. Okay, so I got this question: how is the patient load as compared to India? Patient load is really less, but I would say it is very effective. If I talk about radiation oncology, if I talk about one attending, so my attending usually had around 10 to 12 appointments per day, which was considered very heavy as compared to the other attendings. He was one of those attendings that used to see a lot of patients, and 10 to 12 patients per day is considered heavy there, and each attending. So what you have in usually hospitals, like for here हम लोग का OPD एक जगह पे located होता है, and all the patients come here. But there is a specific area, OP area, where there are different rooms where the patient will come according to the appointment, and you have all the data in the computer, and you can log in there. If you are a student, then they will give you login ID, but if you are going as an observer, they might not give you a login ID. So I did not have a login ID, but they allowed me to stay close with the resident, so that I could see all the appointments that was scheduled for the day. So whenever you join an observership there, it is good to know all the cases that the attending, particularly whom you are shadowing, you get to see the diagnosis of the patients, and so that you could read up and then later on ask questions. And that is the only way, because you only have few weeks, and for my case I was the only one. But in when we talk about observership, there are multiple students, so you have to fight for yourself. Okay, so you have to make yourself seen. How did you apply for observership? Okay, so specifically for Cleveland, they have a full proper website for application process. As simple as that, if you put observerships in Cleveland, clinic. So there will come a set of websites where the observership links are there. In there you can apply for the biannual observership. So usually it occurs in the month of, I think, May or June, and the second observership or preceptorship that I joined is in the month of January. So obviously, because May June is more spring season, and it is more weather friendly, so there is high competition for that, and people assume that those kind of observership they prefer giving to the local residents or the Americans, but in any ways you should apply to both the cycles, because my study partner literally forced me to apply for the observership, and I was not applying because one of my friend applied and she didn't get in. So I thought it was a highly competitive hospital, and I had never ever applied in any hospital before this, but here I just applied. So for the application, you have to fill in the application form, and there is a fees for observership. I assume it is around $800, but they will refund you if you don't get selected. There is some fees that they will not refund you, which is like 100 or 200, which risk you will have to take. Otherwise the rest of the fees will be refunded, or in fact they won't charge you until your final result is out that you're selected for the observership. So the initial application fees is 100 or $200 that you will have to check. For myself, for the people who are resident and will apply for the preceptorship, it was quite expensive. It was $2,500 for 2 weeks and $4,000 for 4 weeks. So that is as high as the observerships in US might go. So you should beforehand make a list of hospitals and make a list of budget, how much that you are willing to spend in observerships, because it might get overwhelming at the end. So you should before starting your journey, you should have a budget and have a plan that how many $1,000 are you willing to spend just on the observerships. And trust me, 4,000 sometimes it is not worth it. But if you are in the starting of your journey and you don't know anything, so be it, like Cleveland would be the best place to start. That is what I would say, rather than joining some private observerships that are sponsored by various websites and various peoples, because I did not want to do that. I wanted to go the official way. That is what I did. So next thing, it is I think it is more going in the direction of the observership experiences rather than the overall experience in USA. But that's okay. I think I will tell more about what you need to do or know as an observer. So when you start your observership, first of all you should have an apron. Not every hospital will provide you with apron or scrubs, so yes, you should have your apron and basic scrub set, and it is better to take it from India rather than buying from there, because I think I ended up buying there and it was some $20 or $25, which would amount to around 600 to 2,000 rupees. So yeah, so if you have any idea and any space in your bag, put your apron and scrubs. And on the apron, as far as I know, just your name should be written and nothing else. No name of the institute or nothing else, just the name of your apron. And same thing on your scrubs. But yeah, many hospitals might provide you even the scrubs. Now when you first start, they will start with your orientation, where you will meet many people. Now I will tell you, and listen very carefully, this is the biggest opportunity for you to make contacts not only with the attending or the residents, but also with your fellow colleagues and people that you that might apply with you. I made not many, but yeah, few friends, and I am still in talking terms with them. and I keep on asking questions, and we exchange formal emails with some of them that where they are applying, or anything related to observerships. And yeah, some people might be competitive, but not everyone is like that. So if you are genuine, then I'm pretty sure that you will end up finding genuine people yourself. So I met a doctor from Sudan and a doctor from Brazil, both of whom had completed their residency, and they started their USMLE journey just like me, which was really reassuring for me, because everyone says that starting a journey of USMLE should be immediately after MBBS or during MBBS, so you feel that you are lagging behind and so much behind. So it is always reassuring when you find people like you in that journey. So next thing is, if you don't know where to stay, you will end up booking Airbnb, which I did. And some one of you guys whom I interacted with through Instagram, we ended up sharing an apartment in Ohio, and it was a great experience. And it is hard to stay alone, especially in winters in US, as it becomes really quiet, and you don't feel safe sometimes, especially in Ohio, because Cleveland is not very safe. I would say that it is better that you keep yourself busy with the work and just mind your own business. And whenever you plan to go in a group of people rather than going alone, especially after 6:30 p.m. around the Cleveland. So there are like few areas around Euclid Avenue which are not considered very safe, although we never had any experience like that, but just a heads up. So yeah, when you book an apartment through Airbnb, or even there are some student housings, which is, I think, they are called rotating rooms. Okay, yeah, they are called rotatingrooms.com. So on that website you can look for the apartments which are by the students, for the students, so they are a little bit cheaper than the usual price for the apartments. But if you're lucky, so you might be able to get them. Otherwise you will have to apply for the Airbnb, which might cost you around 1,500 to $2,000 per month if you have a big apartment of 2 to 3 rooms. That is what it costed us. Just yeah, sorry, I just got a call. So the next thing is, after the apartment, is about the groceries. So guys, if you don't know cooking, just learn the basic things, and immediately first day you should Google where are the nearest Indian stores, and head towards it. And you should always be very careful while booking the cabs, because in initial days you will not realize it, but the cabs are pretty expensive. Even for 4 to 5 kilometers, they will charge you like $10 or $12, which is, I think, which is like pretty expensive as compared to India. So always plan to buy groceries with multiple people, or if you have housemates or flatmates, go with them and buy in bulk. There are certain things like Haldiram boxes which you can prepare and take even from the airport. I bought a few of the Haldiram's boxes, which have dal chawal or rajma chawal pre-cooked, and you can just heat them. I know it is not the healthiest option, but in the initial days when you have no idea and you don't want to overspend, and in especially in the mornings, it should be a good option for the breakfast or for the dinner, at least few days. And then take some masalas and everything from your home, because you will not find these things easily. Definitely you will find them in the Indian stores, but they will be pretty expensive. For the expense, if I would try to give you an idea, so they cost around like a big Maggie packet costed around $3 to $4, which is I think really expensive. So yeah, it as many as things you can take for like the dry masala, and yeah, the flight people, they don't mind, and until unless your bag gets checked, obviously, which doesn't happen that normally. But yeah, you should take them. Okay, now I got distracted. Let's talk about the hospital. Okay, so scrubs and the apron. So first day when you go to the hospital, you will feel really insecure and you will feel like a fool. That is normal. Okay, you will feel literally like you don't know anything. That is what I feel. And when I talk to different friends and study partners of mine, they had the same experience, that in the initial days you feel really underconfident with everyone speaking in the fluent English and talking some different terms which you might not understand. And the way they treat the patient, the way they interact with the patient, it might not be the way that you interact here in India. So it is a pretty different experience, so you should be open to that experience rather than getting insecure. So number one thing is not to speak too much, but also to speak something. You should not come out as a too shy student, because you have to make yourself seen and heard at the same times. But don't be too desperate in the initial days. Take at least a sweet 4 to 5 days in analyzing and assessing your department and your clinic and people around you, and only after that slowly start interacting with the people. Don't be too blunt and ask questions about like the letter of recommendations and things like that. In the initial days it will not considered good in the initial days, but yes, you can do that later on as well. So my attending luckily was from India. He was American Indian, but yeah, I could relate to him a little bit as compared to other people, but that should not be the case with everyone. And you should also not restrict yourself to communicate only with the Indians, because that will really make your options less. Do we get a LOR after observership, or is it only after the hands-on electives? Okay, so for observership, even if you see on their websites, it is clearly written specifically for the Cleveland that we do not provide any LOR. But this is very very confidential information, but I will share it with you if your attending is good. So yes, you can request for an LOR, and people do give you LOR. I mean, why would you spend so many dollars then, right? So yeah, but officially they don't give any LOR. Where are you and how long are you in India? So guys, I just came, I think 2 weeks back. There is still some visa process that is going on for the research position that I joined in US, and it might take I think 2 to 2.5 months. So let's hope for the best. What are the procedures to apply for step 1? Okay, procedures, that is considered a whole different videos, but a basic thing is to go to the ECFMG websites and just apply for ECFMG certification. There will be set of following questions that they will ask you, and then you will just fill the form, and voila, your account is made. So you will have a ECFMG number and ECFMG ID. So usually what people do is they make a brand new email ID specifically for the USMLE journey because of various reasons. I did not do that, but people suggest to do that. So that is the first step, and only after that you should be able to apply for the step 1. But yeah, register for the ECFMG, and after that you will be able to apply for the step 1. Okay, is there any other questions? Let's see. Myself on the stream after cracking NEET UG. Pratyush So many congratulations. I'm so happy for you. And NEET UG has become so competitive, and I was hearing about the ranks, and it has been crazy. So you deserve a treat. Don't waste your time here. Just go and party and go on a trip. You deserve that. Congratulations once again. Okay. Will this be available as a recorded video? For sure, for sure. Ma'am, how did you find the rotation and how much did it cost if it did cost money? Archie Asthana. Hi Archie, I did talk about the Cleveland rotation, particularly in the starting of the video. You can watch the video, but in short I will tell you, you just need to go on the Google and type Cleveland observership, and the first link that you will see, you just have to click there and apply there, and it costs around $500 to $800 for the observership in Cleveland. I'm done with step 1. Should I do electives before step 2 or after step 2? That is such a difficult and subjective questions. To be honest, I also did my step 1 last year and I haven't given my step 2. And people usually say that immediately after step 1, if you prepare for step 2, it takes less time. So I would also advise you the same, since I had already done the residency and I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do this until unless I get to taste the life of US and the US hospitals. So that is what I told myself when I started my journey, that immediately after cracking step 1, I would go to US and then decide whether I want to continue this journey or not, because I have seen people spending 2 to 3 years of their life preparing for the whole USMLE journey, and when they go there first time and then they don't feel that good and they are not able to relate to the people, to the crowd and to the lifestyle there, which is very understandable. To be honest, even now I'm not very confident. I liked it there, but yeah, it comes with a set of its own challenges, especially when you have a really comfortable life in India. So you got to have a really big passion of going to the US, just apart from earning money. So yeah, for me it was very important to taste the experience of US. That is why I went for the observership. Otherwise, if you have done step 1 and you are in that zone, so it is really advisable that you give your step 2 within like 3-4 months and just be done with it. Hello, ma'am. Currently in AIMS Jodhpur. Wow. I have never been to Jodhpur. I have gone to Udaipur, but AIMS Jodhpur is really good. So, are you doing residency there, or are you doing your undergrad there? Oh, okay. I'm not married, if somebody is asking. I am still a MBBS student, ma'am. So it will take me a bit more time to prepare for step 2. So should I try and just get done with it before the completion of MBBS? See, it is your choice, to be honest. When I was doing MBBS, I had like my batchmates who used to go to US during internship or in their final year. So if you get a chance, just go ahead with it, especially if you are during your MBBS only. That is the time that you can get a clinical elective, which is like here as compared to the observership, for which you can apply after MBBS. But if you are a student, then you can get a clinical elective, so don't miss that opportunity. Do people stay abroad with Indian group? I heard they all hate each other. Staying abroad do take a lot of courage. It does take a lot of courage of staying alone, especially when you come from the world's largest populated countries. You will hardly find people, especially in the winter. So if you get a chance, it is always advisable that you go in the month of May, June, or till even October, November. But if you're going in January, February, or December, the crowd is usually less, but it will decrease more. And when you don't see people, it really feels depressing sometimes. But if you're lucky and you have friends or people to hang out with, so it might be okay. Okay, so I think that's it for the questions. Keep the questions coming, guys. So I was talking about how to, you know, behave in an observership as an IMG, because you are continuously being monitored. And I know one of my friend was denied LOR by a specific attending because she said, I did not find you really up to the mark as compared to the American students, so it will not be very beneficial for you to take LOR from me. So the study technique and style and the syllabus of the American students, and how they present themselves as a student in the hospital is quite different from the Indian students. So it is not very best to, you know, be really come out really confident and behave just like you would behave in the Indian hospitals. First, most important thing is to observe the situation around you, and only then act. Ma'am, do you think it is okay to find rotation through consultancy companies? I would say it is not the best choice, but yeah, you can do that. And many of the people that I know, they have found rotation through consultancy companies. That might be it for, especially for you to apply for the visa, because when you apply for the visa, then you have to show them invitation letter. So for that, definitely apply for one rotation with consultancy company, because they also charge a lot. Otherwise, there are so many hospitals, and I will tell you how to apply. So you go to the various websites of the hospital and directly go to suppose you want to apply in medicine, so go to the medicine department of for example Mount Sinai Hospital, and you go to the medicine department, and then you see the name of the attendings. And if you're able to find the email address of different attendings, especially the senior ones, and then you just reach out to them for the shadowing opportunity. And then they might even not charge you, or charge you basic minimum, because they are like the big hospitals. So you need to do this kind of work, so you should have at least like 1 hour or 1.5 hour per day for these kind of things. Draft a basic email for reaching out, and don't think that people don't get accepted. I mean, I found my research position through LinkedIn. So yeah, there is no end to this. How to get research position? Definitely I will come back for this question, because the answer is long. Ma'am, is the chance of an IMG, especially from India, matching into radiation oncology for residency in USA? Very interesting question, and thank you for asking this question. Okay, so for me specifically, when I completed my residency, I wanted to go to US. I was very unclear how. I just knew the name of like few famous hospitals that provided really good fellowships, but I had no idea apart from that. And everyone around me said radiation oncology is the top most branch, and nobody will give you you will not get matched. And if you see, actually you see the list, there are only 1 or 2 Indians that match every year. But the trend is changing currently, number one thing. Number two thing is, that year when I finished my residency, one of my seniors who was from AIMS got matched in a very reputed cancer care hospitals in US, one of the really like topmost hospital. And that was it. That was it. What I needed was just knowing that one person got matched that was in the same position like me, and that was it. To be honest, I didn't search much after that before starting my journey. but I just found one success story, and that was enough for me. And now every year I'm getting to know that people are getting matched into radiation oncology, and especially if you're able to bag any research job or any research experiences, your chances of getting matched into uh, that particular branch or that particular program increases a lot. So always look for the success stories around you. Don't see कि कितने लोगों का match नहीं हुआ. Just try to see how many people got matched, because there are like hundreds of reasons to get discouraged, but you need one reason to continue the journey. Okay, let's see. Any scope for BA MS there in USA? I'm not very sure, but the Ayurveda is really booming in the recent years in USA. So try to find out about the research programs related to Ayurveda and the PhD programs, because the best thing about US is they have very good PhD programs, and they also pay you. And one of the colleagues who really ended up becoming one of my friends was doing PhD in nutrition, which is I think not very common in India. So yeah, if you think that your branch is not for specific course, always search for the translational research or the clinical research or the PhD in your field. I am definitely sure that there should be something related to Ayurveda, because the people in US are going crazy for the Ayurveda and yoga stuff these days. So yeah, why not? Ma'am, is there a chance of an... Okay, so this I will answer. Ma'am, can you please tell me how to start writing personal statement as well as cover letter? Again, this is a really detailed question, but I will answer this in very short. Okay, so personal statement, what is a personal statement? So suppose for me, personal statement is मेरी अब तक की जो journey है, from the moment I took birth to the moment I am applying in this program. इस journey में क्या ऐसा interesting चीज़ हुआ that build me as a person that I am today, and in that journey, first you starting writing incidents. Start with a basic skeleton. So start writing various incidents that inspired you or that you really enjoyed, like going to your grandparents' house and helping them in the farms or something. Even those kind of stories people write. And then how did they change you, and then the incidents that that tell about your character as a doctor or as a human being. Uh, I would say, so one of the examples that I gave in one of my personal statement was that I used to arrange for the all the parties that happened in my residency during my residency days. So that tells that I am a easygoing person, and I am good with communicating with people, and I am a good planner. So you pick one incidence that defines your traits. So this is kind of example. But if you want to know in the detail, do tell me in comments, and I will plan the next live for that, how to write the personal statement. And also you can go to the Malke Asad website, because I took help in the initial days writing, because they have a draft of various examples of the personal statement, and you can take help from that also. Ma'am, should one concentrate on clearing step 1 and then look for observership and shadowing? Now again, this is very important question. Thank you for asking, Nazia. Yes. Now the answer is yes and no. Okay, so if you strictly plan your step 1 in the next 2.5 to 3 months, then just forget about everything and just get drowned in the books. But if your step 1 is more than that, then you have the time, and then you can apply for the rotations. But to tell you honestly, my step one, I gave my step one on May 30th, and I filled my visa form somewhere in April. So there might be few things that you might need to do, but I just because my just like I told you, my study partners forced me that you have to apply for Cleveland. Definitely I had to apply for the visa as well. And at whatever stage you are, I would advise you, so number one is apply for visa, that is like B1 B2 visa, tourist visa and business visa, for the rotation, because it is the most time taking process. I was lucky that I got the appointment and everything worked out well. But yeah, people even applied with me and they got appointments for the 2024. So this is the number one thing that should be on your priority if you plan to go to US in the next 6 months or 1 year. How did you end up getting electives? Again, I told you, I emailed a lot of attendings. I did not want to pay any agency. That was my personal choice, because I had done residency and I knew that I would be surviving in US on my money and my parents' money. So I used to write so many letter of interest to various attendings, just like I just explained like a while back how you can write to the attendings. And I got many responses, positive responses from many attendings. But yeah, like only 2 or 3 worked out well for me. So what you need is actually 3 to 4. So yeah. Do you advise finish the PG in Radonk in India and go to USA for residency? Then do we have more chance? Definitely. If okay, so answer to this is, if you really want to do residency specifically in radiation oncology, and if you are already a resident in India, that is, if you have started your residency in radiation oncology in India already, then definitely complete your residency. I know one of my co-PGs who left after doing first year. So if your HOD is really great, they will give you just an experience certificate that you have an experience of 1 year as a resident in the radiation oncology. But most of the time, if you have completed your residency, you can even apply for fellowships, because mind you, some branches there are not 3 years but 5 years, and radiation oncology is one of them. That is the biggest reason that I had to think a lot before making this decision. So yeah, if you have started your residency here, so just finish it off and then go. But yeah, the senior that I was talking about, he cleared all of his steps during residency. So when you finish your residency, you can immediately apply for fellowships. And if you have done some residency, there are few fellowships that you might be able to apply and get. Scope for paramedicals, a lot. Specifically for the nurses, a lot of scope, and they also get paid really well. So definitely research about it and please share it with me so that I can also share it with you guys. But definitely a huge scope of paramedicals, and same for operation theater technician. Yes, I would like to know more regarding personal statement. Definitely, I will conduct one session for that. I think it's been quite long since I started, because it's really long time since I actually conducted a formal live with you guys. But I'll try to be more regular, and I am in my journey, and I'll try to share as many information that I have, because I was really lucky that I have a really good friend and multiple friends that guided me through my journey. But not everyone of us have those kind of friends. So definitely I would love to share anything that you guys want to know. Ma'am, any lectures which are open for radiation oncology right now? Okay, Cleveland, for sure. I applied in Cleveland. So yeah, go ahead and apply in Cleveland. Because this is the time, I think it's June. Yeah, that's the exact time when I applied. I think you should, like, while the live is going on, just type Cleveland preceptorship for radiation oncology. For the radiation oncology, you will get preceptorship. Ma'am, but for visa interview, one will need the letter showing that I want to go for rotation, no? Now, very good question and a very interesting answer I will give you. So, I filled my visa application in April when I had no invitation letter. I just left everything on divine, on God, and just went ahead with it and assumed, because I had immediately exam pending that I was supposed to give in May, so I didn't have time to arrange for the invitation letter. But I knew the visa interview will be in the coming like 4 5 months, so I will have time to think about that. But for that time, my priority was clearing step one, which I did, and immediately after clearing step one, I applied for Cleveland observership, along with the many letter of interest that I was already sending to the attendings before my focus period of step one, and after completing step one. So that is what I did. Otherwise, even I didn't have a invitation letter. And if you apply through agency, then if your visa interview is coming close, then they will easily give you invitation letter, so you don't need to worry about that. Just fill anything in your visa application regarding that you will go for observership, but they don't ask you much details, and there are some things that you can even change later on. So just go on YouTube and right now and search how to fill B1 B2 application. There is a form called DS 160 form, which you should know how to fill, and there is no tip. I did not know anything about it, and that is what I did. And the initial 2 videos are what I saw, and in just 2 hours I just filled the form, because I was really in that study mode that time, and I just wanted to get over with this visa application, and that's what I did. Did you attach your CV also when you write a request to shadow or research position? For sure. So what your goal should be is to give them as much as information in that email, so that they don't waste their time interacting with you or asking you question. Initially आप उनको सब दे दो. What I used to do is write a basic email of I am so and so and interested in so and so. I've done my MBBS residency from here, and this is what my experience is, and I'm interested in the research or the shadowing opportunity, and it will be really kind of you if you are able to provide me same. And two most important information is which month are you planning to come, and what is your visa status. This is your basic email draft, and after that what I used to attach was a letter of recommendation from my department, my residency. You can attach from your hospital or your medical college. It is considered good if you attach at least one letter of recommendation in the email, and then my CV, not the personal statement but the CV. Yes. What motivated you to leave India? So it was never about leaving India. I mean, I just love my country, and each day I spend in the US, my love for the country and everything here was growing more and more. It was more about what I wanted to do as a clinician, and especially as a radiation oncologist. The machines that I wanted to work with and the researches that I wanted to work on was not available here. So yeah, that was my desire to experience that rather than leaving it here. I mean, this is the most comfortable place that I could ever be, and that is the uncomfortable thing for me. But then dreams are uncomfortable and the journey is not easy, but you have to make that decision. How are you? I am so good, and I'm feeling so happy to be at home. I just redid my wall today, and I'll soon put the video for that as well. I was just doing my wall because my room was vacant for like 6 months and nobody was paying attention, obviously, in the home for my room. But yeah, I just like cleaning the space up, and I plan to study for step 2 in the time that I've got here. Did you create a SOFA's account to look for fellowships and PhD? I did not look for the PhD. For the fellowships, no, I did not, because for that, I think you need to have your step 2 scores as well, and you need to be ECFMG certified, which I'm not currently. So, yeah, I did not created an account. But you can, apart from that, also you can apply for specifically for the research positions. PhD, to be honest, I don't have any idea regarding PhD, how to apply for that. Do you think it is possible for a UG student who is an intern can get Cleveland elective in RAD-ONC? So RAD-ONC, as per as I know, they don't provide elective for RAD-ONC. They provide preceptorship, which is only for the physicians like me, like who have done MD in radiation oncology. Can you please elaborate on focus period for step 1? It is 2.5 to 3 months. I'm working full time as an SR. Same, I was. So I'll tell you this thing. That's okay, Nadia. It's okay. I also had like many questions in those times, and it is all test and trial method, and that is how you learn. So just before 2 months of my exam, I resigned from my job, which was the most difficult decision. But when I saw my NBME scores falling, and I had already extended my timeline for the step 1, so it was the last chance for me. I talked to my study partner and cried a lot, and she just suggested me that now is the time you need to choose one. And trust me, being in SR, it is very comfortable and you are earning well, so आपको उतना motivation नहीं आता. So yeah, 2 months before my exam, I just resigned from my job, and even paid 1 month notice period fee, which you need to pay the whole 1 month salary. But I was desperate to get those free days. So even if you can plan your resignation, plan it ahead so that you don't have to pay like me. Can you show your lifestyle here? For sure, I will keep sharing in the stories and in the reels my lifestyle here for sure. Let's see, do I have now? I am doing a job in clinical research, but ma'am, which scope in other country? Tell me shortly. I don't think there is much of scope of research job apart from US and UK, and even in UK I haven't heard much about research position, because US is really keen in research and everything, and you don't need to learn any other language apart from English. So it is best that you look for research positions in US only. Does doing any research here will help? For sure, whatever research you can do, but please, people, don't get scammed, because so many people ask that pay us money and we'll publish your name in the paper. Don't do that. Don't. You just get associated with your HODs and with your physicians here, and try to publish a few case reports. Definitely they matter. You're so right, ma'am. After leaving SRship and making a choice, yeah, thank you for answering me. For sure. Okay, I think I will conduct another live, because it's already been an hour. So if you guys want to ask any last questions, just shoot, and I will formulate a full video how to be as an observer or as a IMG in your initial clinical elective or clinical observership, because that is really important topic and I wanted to talk about it, but it was good and I just loved all of the questions. So if you guys have any other question, just shoot, otherwise we can end it here. Good night. Okay, I think that's it. Okay. it feels so good to talk to you guys, and just remember that we all are going in this journey together. Somebody is early, somebody is late, but in our own journey nobody is late. So don't get overwhelmed when you see other people clearing step 1, step 2, and don't feel burdened by that. Your journey is your own, so just own that, and be kind to yourself. That is very important. And with this, good night everyone, enjoy your weekend, and just see you in next live. Just keep on suggesting me, I'll ask you the questions, which live do you want in the next part, so we'll conduct that. So bye bye.